What's up folks, Crust SG, and as promised I'm back with another lighting mod video. Today we're taking a dive into the latest update of the E3VR Lighting Mod. I covered this mod a couple of weeks ago in my top 5 lighting mods video, and that was version 2.5. Well, now that update 2.1 is here, the author has released a major update for the mod in the form of version 2.82. Now, quick overview of this mod. E3VR is an archive-based lighting mod, meaning it works in-engine and isn't a reshade. If the name wasn't clue enough, this mod aims to combine the looks of the E3 2018, 2019 and 2020 trailers into one lighting mod, while making slight tweaks to weather diversity, exposure, as well as include built-in road textures to closer match the look of the E3 trailers. As with most of the lighting mods I've covered so far, E3VR is a standalone mod that is generally not compatible with other lighting mods, as well as mods that alter weather, exposure, and LUTs. Alright, if you watch my other lighting mod showcases, you kinda know what to expect, but for those who haven't, I'll be rolling a bunch of comparison clips first, then I'll give my thoughts after. The clip format will be a short clip featuring just E3VR 2.82 alone, followed by side-by-side clips comparing 2.82 with version 2.5, as well as the unmodded vanilla lighting. Let's roll the clips and I'll be back in a few minutes.
Being awful quiet. Everything all right? What happened back there? Can tell it's eating at you. Want to talk about it?
You want to know what's eating at me? That I didn't get to her first. Ahead of you.
Reed.
It should have been me down there with Zomi. Not you. I should have looked her in the eye. Heard her say she wanted out of life. I could have changed her mind.
Okay, let's break it down. I personally really like the changes that came with this update. They are both subtle yet very significant at the same time in overall presentation. Of course, understand that this is a video on YouTube and it has gone through 3 rounds of compression from what is actually shown in-game on my monitor. So you should expect some quality and detail loss by the time it reaches your screen. Now, if you're having trouble differentiating the lighting and color differences, one of the easiest ways to spot what's going on is just to look at the sky in each of the clips. As you can see, comparing vanilla to E3VR 2.82, vanilla has a very obvious green and yellow tint to it, whereas 2.82 has a very slight magenta tint to it. Vanilla also has very inconsistent exposure levels across different scenes, with some scenes being completely blown out and others being a little darker and a little too contrasty. It almost looks like vanilla puts a vintage filter on the game, if you ask me, and I'm not saying that it looks bad, it's very clearly an artistic choice. I just prefer a more cleaner, more realistic look to my game. Now, comparing E3VR 2.82 with version 2.5, my primary gripe about 2.5 was that I felt it was a little too vibrant for my liking, and it looks like 2.82 completely fixed that issue. Yes, the differences are a lot smaller than compared to vanilla, but they are definitely there. 2.5 is much more contrasty and vibrant. Punchy is what I like to call it. It also has a little more blue to it, giving it an almost clinical look. 2.82 on the other hand is a little warmer. It produces much softer lighting, it's less contrasty without being flat. Now this difference is most noticeable in daylight scenes like the Badlands driving scene. I mean, just look at the color of the sky and the back of the Porsche Cabriolet. 2.5 makes the Porsche look bright green, whereas 2.82 tones it down a fair bit and still retains some of the yellow that it is supposed to have. That said, it is still 2 versions of the same mod, so it has the same goals, and overall both versions still share a consistent look to them, which I really like overall. Now, one thing to note about E3VR is that it changes the position of the sun relative to the game world. So there are differences in sun shadow angles from the base vanilla game. However, it isn't something that you'd notice unless you explicitly view it side by side with vanilla or a mod that doesn't make changes to the sun. Okay, conclusion time. Once again, I really like what Skater has done with this update. Prior to this, there has only ever been one mod that didn't require any reshade tweaks to suit my personal color preferences, the Natural Californian Lighting Mod. And now I can gladly add E3VR to that list as well. Now the Neon Genesis mod comes really close, but I do still need to tweak it just a little in reshade to get it perfect, so yeah. And of course, technically I don't use reshade with GITs either, but I have GITs firmly in a more cinematic category rather than the everyday use category. Alright folks, that's a wrap. As always, links to the mods are in the description along with any other visual mods that are featured in the video. As mentioned in my last video, I'll probably be taking a look at the new GITS update soon, and I see that NCLM has put out a new update as well, so I'll be checking that out to see if there are any differences with the version that I currently use. For now, thumbs up if you liked it, crush that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care folks.